different team like Bayern Munich, they don't care. I mean, it's just a process. It's not the first time they're starting the season slowly, and they know that, they will figure it out. They need some time. And there's Panathinaikos, all this pressure behind their performance.
It seems like every home game for Dejan Radonjic is a must-win game because they're not winning games away from
in Istanbul
Oaxaca.
last week. I mean, they were hopeless. And watching that team, I was like, okay, this is not just a 30-point blowout loss. The general body language of the team, the level, the quality of the team, it was horrible. And how can you bounce back from that in 1 week? And that's what happened against Virtus. Okay, they had a slow start, but then some players stepped up, and at some stretches they looked as a, I would say, solid team in this beginning of the season. So
yeah, I mean, every time they play at home, they are competitive. They are a solid team. Now that everyone has come back, I mean, Nate Walters doing a great job. Derek Williams having these fantastic stretches when he plays at home. Yeah. And I saw a nice, he tweeted that his neighbors loves him when he plays a good game. That was really nice. But if you watch the results, Pau lost to Real Madrid by 3 points at home. Pau lost to Monaco by 3 points at home. Pau lost to Partizan by 2 points at home, and now they won by 3 against Virtus. So almost every game they play at home, except for against Baskonia, where they won by 15. Almost every game is a close one. Doesn't matter who they play, and they could be a solid team, especially playing at home. And if they manage to win those games, they could be close to the playoffs. I mean, we are talking. We said before you started recording, we said that it's only 3 victories from the last to the second place, and it's only 2 victories from the last to the playoff spot. So everything can happen still.
Yeah, I think that the same was with Red Star last year, right? I mean, they were kind of a home team.
They were every game they were playing at home.
I have a short memory, so
it was.
Can you help me with
No, every game they were playing at home, they were competitive.
Okay, yeah.
Away
was a different conversation, right?
Yeah, but just that defense with Radonjic and with that home court advantage they have in Belgrade, and now the same, in Athens. So basically, they could have win any game they played at home, and they had some famous wins, let's say, against good teams, just like Panathinaikos, and just like for me this season, any team can win basically any game, especially at home. Like, it doesn't matter which place you are right now.
You can join BN Plus community on basketnews.com/plus. There are 3 different subscription levels, and you will get a lot of great features, including Q&A podcast every 2 weeks. And as soon as we will jump into 100 plus member zone or maybe more, we'll try to do these pods weekly to answer your questions. There are also some other great features, including your breakdowns, Rytis Vyšniauskas betting tips, some articles, opinion articles, which are available only for BN Plus members, and a lot of different stuff. You can also join our Facebook community. By the way, I will take a picture for a Facebook post where we're sharing some behind the scenes stuff, where we are asking
of me.
Yeah, where we are at. Okay, I think you lost the focus. Okay, no.
You take the picture.
That's a great impression.
Take the picture of that.
That's a great impression by August. Yeah, so we are sharing a lot of stuff from behind the scenes. And for example, in our Facebook group, we are previewing our upcoming interviews. So in a lot of ways, in a lot of situations, you're able to ask questions to greats as Vasilis Spanoulis, for example, or I had an interview with Dimitris Itoudis, Nikola Kalinic. So every time I try to preview the interview, and we might include your questions to the interview, which I think is great. I mean, you can send your question to Vasilis Spanoulis. That's just perfect. And it's only one of the features. that we also, what we do on Facebook. So once again, basketnews.com/plus, 3 different subscription levels. And we had the question since it's related to Fenerbahce, I think we can start with some of the questions.
Sure.
Hoopwen had a question: which team will be the next one to defeat Fenerbahce?
I want to hear your answer first, to be honest.
I mean, okay, the 4 next games they're playing is away versus Milan. They're hosting Madrid. They're playing Alba away, and they're playing Olympiacos away. So I cannot say this. I mean, of course, I'm concerned about. I've even told you that I'm not so sure what kind of Milan's presence we'll witness in today's game.
I can't imagine them, recovering 2 days after. But they have to be pissed. They have to be angry. They have to be. They haven't won in Mediolanum this year.
They're 0-3,
0-4, I think. And they all of the losses were pretty bad. They had a blackout in at least one quarter against Real Madrid. They had 6 points in the third quarter.
Yeah, there's Virtus game.
The Virtus game was brutal. Against Anadolu, they had 7-point third quarter. So it's like you're giving all the reasons not to buy tickets. Yeah, you're having all the reasons not to buy tickets, and I can't expect Milano to play 40 minutes of good basketball. Like, you are watching the game, and even though they played 2 great quarters in second and first against Anadolu, do you expect them to keep the same level of play for 40 minutes? I just can't do that at the moment. So.
Okay, so we're ruling out Milan's game as the potential loss for Fenerbahce. Hosting Madrid.
That would be a tough game, but I have them winning that game too.
So, okay, you see them losing against Olympiacos in Piraeus?
Sasha Vezenkov wasn't seen in the fourth quarter. He tried 2 shots, but, without Kostas Lukas, he's not the same player. And it's an interesting topic. Maybe we'll get that in the Monday podcast, Vezenkov as an MVP.
Man.
But he's, as I said before,
I like where you're taking us, because I also have some controversial stat. Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, just it's not a secret. He's so really dependent on the schemes, on Kostas Lukas, on other players. He's great without the ball, but with the ball, he's there are not situations where Bartzokas wants him to play, with the ball, because he's just much better at other things. And in a game like this, you depend on Kostas Lukas making the plays.
Let's define who is the MVP. Is it the most efficient player on the court? Is it the best scorer? Is it the best all-around player? I mean, who's the MVP?
I mean, MVP is most valuable player. So who is the most valuable to that team?
Because me personally, I think that MVP status also means that this is the guy who wins you games in the decisive moments.
For sure.
And I have a loophole in Sasha Vezenkov's MVP campaign. Eurozone basketball, actually, he had 4 questions, but I took 2 of them. Who are your top 3 EuroLeague coaches? That's a super hard question. Any ranking in EuroLeague is super hard.
You have to go with... I'm thinking right now of all the coaches that are here. I mean, you have Scariolo, you have Messina, you have Charas, you have Trinchieri, you have Itudis, Bartzokas, Sasha Obradovic.
Yeah. And who's the head coach in today's basketball? That's also another question.
Sorry?
Who's the head coach in today's basketball?
What is the head coach?
Yeah. Is it the best tactician?
Yeah.
Is it a good manager in a way how he handles the locker room, how he's giving roles? Is he a good general manager? Because most of these coaches, they're actually building their teams. It's such a complicated complex of things, which in today's EuroLeague describes the head coach's role.
I think the psychology role, just managing characters, is getting more and more important each day. So it's, to me, this is where like the head coach position is going, because you can see, for example, Gianmarco Pozzecco. For me, you have like your players believe in you so much that they would run through a wall for him. I mean, and he has a coach for offense. He has a coach for defense. Last end of game situations, he has an assistant coach, drawing plays for his team, and he doesn't have a problem with that. So that's the plan. And NBA teams are doing that. You have defensive assistant coach, you have offensive coach. So for me, like the head coach and the important role of managing the characters is probably, I would say, number one, and in-game decisions, obviously. But so top 3 coaches, I would say Itudis.
Luka Stokic, who is stronger, Partizan or Red Star? And can you compare coaching styles of Obradovic and Ivanovic? I think that we had kind of similar question last time, and it was the idea of who do you think will win the Adriatic League if Partizan meets Red Star? So let's start from this point.
Partizan.
Yeah,
for me, it's just too much talent there compared to Crvena Zvezda. And
too many changes in Crvena Zvezda. I mean, last year they were so strong because they had continuity. They had coach for a long time. They have a
great
strong
group
core, and on top of that, they added Nikola Kalinic, who was kind of newcomer in that situation, but he already played there, and he fit that style of the team so perfectly. And they had these great players who fit their roles also perfectly, like Nate Walters, Austin Hollands, some other guys. And Partizan was just clicking, was trying to find their way, trying to find their players, and they were really struggling building that chemistry. This year, I think that they have this continuity advantage, although I don't think that they have this perfect picture yet. Not at all.
Not close.
And of course, Galatasaray. Although we have 2 Istanbul teams, you cannot
That's a good
afford not having Galatasaray because they have amazing fan base. They're always having a nice, interesting roster. Now they have Coach Pistiolis. They also had some good coaches before. They have this tradition, and I would love to see this. Although it's from the same city, but Istanbul is like
20 million,
5 or 6 Lithuanias. So you can afford having
That's
it.
Crazy. So you should have like 5 teams.
Man, Istanbul is the greatest place to be an NBA scout, for example, because you have Fenerbahce and Efes playing in the EuroLeague. You have Bahçeşehir playing in Ulker Arena, not in the Turkish league. They're playing in Champions League, and they have
I'm saying just how many teams are in Istanbul that are playing also.
There's also
Turkish league there.
Yeah, so many teams are coming from so different.
You can watch basketball 7 days.
Exactly.
And there's a good level of talent playing there. Yeah. A lot of potential American players that can make this. Coming from the universities.
Yeah.
Or playing their first or second year there as well.
So if you add Galatasaray, it's already amazing. And as I mentioned, looking towards these bigger markets, Paris basketball, let's let them continue their job, what they are doing. And of course, we have this hypothetical situation where they would have bigger budget and bigger financial capabilities. Let's let them to continue. I mean, let London Lions continue what they're trying to do, building this new project, which was sparked because the salary cap thing was erased in British Basketball League. That's why London Lions, they're paying way bigger money than before for players like Sam Decker, for example. But that's why Kostas Koufas is here and some other former NBA guys. And I don't know, let's see what this Dubai project could do with the EuroLeague.
I wouldn't want a team in Dubai, but...
Yeah. Probably.
But if that happens,
if that helps,
If that gives 50 million euros to EuroLeague, well, what can you do about that?
By the way, regarding this Dubai thing, just a short notice. From what I heard and what I understood, the general feeling was that if the Dubai team is coming to the EuroLeague, it's like they're just putting 50, 60 million or even more, up to 100 million euros on the table. But from what I've heard,